Here today in this section 4 notes packet, we're going to cover basic statistics, mean, median, mode, and range. Today, to complete these notes, you need to have your note packet, a pencil, and a calculator. If you need to pause the video to gather those items, do so, and then hit play when you are ready to go. All right, so let's go through some terminology here to get started. So first of all, the mean, as you know, is the average of the data set. We find the mean by adding all of the numbers together and then dividing by the total number of pieces that you added together. The median is the middle number in the data set, but it is very important that you remember to put the numbers in order from least to greatest and then find the number in the middle. If there are two numbers in the middle of the data set, you find the average of those two numbers. So if there's an even number of data pieces, you're going to have to find the average of the middle two, which is just adding and dividing by 2 in that case. The mode, the number that occurs the most in the data set. If none of the numbers repeats, then there is no mode. Remember, if there are a couple numbers, 2 or 3 numbers that all occur the same number of times and they're occurring the most, then you list all of those numbers. So there can be more than one mode, and there can be no mode if none of the numbers repeat. And then the range. The range is a measure of how spread out the data set is. It's found by finding the difference between the largest number in the data set and the smallest. And I think most of you think, oh, the range, that's so easy. You just take the largest minus the smallest. But it's really important for you to understand the range is actually pretty important because it says how spread out are all of these numbers from each other. And so we're not just finding the mean, median, mode, and range in this unit, but we're really analyzing data sets and looking at the numbers and being able to make conclusions about the numbers that we get. So let's go ahead and try a couple examples here together. So first of all, on this example number 1, it says calculate the mean, median, mode, and range of the following data set, round to the nearest tenth when necessary. The first thing I notice here is that the numbers are not in order. And so if I'm ever posed with a question that's asking me to find the median, the first step I will do is just go ahead and put the numbers in order. And so when I do that, I will look through and I'll find that smallest number, which is a 12. And I'll simply cross it off my list as I'm going through 12, and I'll write it down. I'll find the next number, write it down, next number, so on and so forth, just to make sure that I don't miss any of these numbers. So go ahead and make sure that you have 12, 13, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 4 18s, and then a 19. And so if I was going to go through and I was going to find the mean, as we wrote down a moment ago, we need to add all these up and divide by the number in the data set. And so when we add those all up, we're going to divide by the number in the data set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we're going to be dividing by 11. When we go ahead and add all of these numbers up. We should get 176 as our total here. Dividing by 11, we're going to get a mean of 16 exactly. So that's our average. The median is the number in the middle. So we divided by 11, so that means the sixth number here, 5 on each side, is going to be the number in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the number in the middle is going to be 17. I have seen students, they'll say, okay, 12 and 8, 19, 13 and 18, and they'll kind of cross them off one on each side until they get to the middle, while they'll kind of cover up the numbers on each end with their finger until they find the number in the middle. The mode here is going to be these 18s. And when you put the numbers in order, it's nice and you can kind of see those duplicate numbers. And so 18 is the mode. It repeated the most often. The range is going to be the highest number, 19 minus 12. So it's saying that the data here has a range of 7. So there's 7 pieces in between the largest and the smallest number. So on to example number 2. We have all of these numbers in order. And so go ahead and hit pause. And when you're ready, you can hit play. I want you to find the mean, median, mode, and range and check your answers with my answers. All right, again, if you're not done with all 4 of these, go ahead and hit pause. But if you are done, here we go. So when I added all of these numbers up, I got 294, and I divided by the number in the data set, which was 12. And so my mean was 24.5. The number in the middle, there's 12 data pieces, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My number in the middle is going to be in between 24 and 25. Now, hopefully you can look at that and say in between there is going to be 24.5. There's nothing wrong with saying, okay, 24 plus 25 divided by 2. That's technically the work when there's an even number. Because if there's a big gap here, let's say this number here is 100, this number over here is 117, it might be nice to add them up and to actually divide by 2 to find the number in the middle. As far as the mode goes, I have a 23 repeating 4 times and 25 repeating 4 times. So my mode here is dual mode. I have 2 of them, 23 and 25 as my mode. Now my range, I need to take 30 minus 21 for a high minus low, and I'm getting a range of 9. So again, this was a quick rundown of basic statistics, and we'll use these in and out through the unit and have the opportunity to practice these throughout class.